everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Lake Charles Experience. Today, we're right down the road in Welsh, Louisiana, where we're visiting Jacques' Pottery Shop, located inside Mr. Clint's, right off the main strip. We're going to be taking a pottery class today, and there's so much more I'm really excited about. I can't wait for you to see it. Let's check it out. So we're gonna meet with the owner, Shelby. She's gonna show us around, kind of walk us through the history of the business. Then we're gonna hop on the pottery wheel, make a cup, and then show you guys what's going on. Hey Shelby, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Good, nice to meet you. This is a beautiful place you have here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how long have you been here?
We've been here for 5 years.
5 years? Okay, how long have you been doing pottery?
I've been doing pottery since college, so about 8 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I've seen some of the pieces you had here. It's beautiful work. I love this kind of stuff. This is really cool. I saw do you have a class going on currently?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you teach classes?
We do. We teach paint your own pottery classes and pottery wheel classes.
Okay, so kind of walks you through. So I know nothing about any of this. I did something in high school. I just threw some clay together and put it in a fire. That's about my experience level here. So
that's the basics for sure. Yeah, we can kind of walk you through some of the things that go on here at the pottery shop.
Okay, so you could take someone like me and make stuff, eventually to make stuff like you make stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So over here we have our paint your own pottery section. We have all of the pieces here that we make in-house with vintage pottery molds that we pour with liquid clay and fire. And then we have about 40 color options to choose from. So you can come and paint whatever you want. We do classes by appointment on Wednesdays through Saturdays for paint your own pottery and pottery wheel.
Okay.
So we have a variety of things that we offer, and we have little trinkets for the kiddos, and then we have dinnerware as well.
That's awesome. So you pre-make all of this yourself?
Yes.
And then they can just purchase and paint as they wish?
That's right.
So this is perfect for people like me who don't know yet how to.
Exactly. Very beginner friendly.
Okay. So do you swap it out for the season? I see there's some Halloween themed stuff here.
Absolutely. We have a little Halloween section. We have our Christmas preview out right now. We're working on pouring all of our Christmas molds at the moment. So we'll have the big vintage Christmas trees. We'll have some Christmas ornaments available for painting. All kinds of Christmassy things.
Well, this is incredible. So I was told I have to find a Christmas tree for the house this year, so I could just come get, I could paint my own.
Yes.
But that would save me so much time. I have to carry that around, tend to that. Your classes, I see we have one going on. Is she gonna paint all of this?
Yes, so this is Megan. She comes to see us about once a week or so, and right now she's working on glazing some of her pottery that she's made here at the pottery shop a few weeks ago.
So she's made everything on the table right there?
Yes.
That's awesome. So it's not just a one-time thing you do. You could come back and continue your learning essentially?
Absolutely. We do courses. So we do 4-week, 6-week, and 8-week courses.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, so you can really learn a lot and kind of hone the skill as you go along.
For sure.
So it's a lot more than bowls and cups, they say?
Right. Bowls and cups are what we start with for all of our basic classes, for all of our beginners. And then as you grow with your pottery skills, we can kind of create a custom course curriculum for you so that you can master all of the basics.
Interesting. So what's the most interesting thing someone has come and made in one of your classes?
Well, recently I had one of my recurring students, Mr. Richard, make a boat.
Ooh.
So he slab built a boat. He brought in an example piece that he liked and he created it from scratch. It was amazing, very cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we've heard a lot about the day-to-day, kind of what you do on a weekly basis. What's the history of the business itself? What made you want to get into this and start all of this?
For sure. So I got my art degree from McNeese in 2018, and I couldn't really picture myself doing anything other than this. So I gave myself a year and said, hey, if I can make a business out of this, awesome. And if not, I'll go get myself a real job. And we're 5 years in, and I haven't had to go get a real job yet.
Well, congratulations.
So, thank you.
Well, when you enjoy what you do, it doesn't feel like work, right?
That's right.
So where do we spin on the wheel? Does that happen back here?
Right back here, yep.
Okay, after you. So I know we're in Welsh. I come from a small town as well. Is the community a very important part of what we do here, or do you see a lot of out-of-town people?
So we do have our regulars that come in from Welsh, but we do get a lot of business from out-of-towners as well. I have clients that come in from Lake Charles, Lafayette. I've had people come from across state lines. We get some regulars come in from Beaumont and Vidor and all kinds of places. So this is our potter's wheel. I have 2 wheels that I use on the regular. This particular one I have lifted up on cinder blocks so that we can stand behind it instead of sitting at a potter's wheel.
That makes sense.
For me, doing demonstrations, it's a lot easier to be able to stand and talk to everybody around me. It also helps out with your back. If you hunch over the potter's wheel for too long, you know, you can cause yourself some pretty bad back problems. So just for health and safety reasons, I prefer a standing wheel.
Makes sense.
So this one we've had for a few years, and it is my favorite one that I have in the shop. So this is my wheel,
Okay.
and you know, people use it too, but I like this one for me.
It's your personal wheel.
This is my personal wheel. That's right.
So what's the process like? How do you get started with any of these projects you have going?
So we first pick our clay. We normally have 3 clay varieties that we keep on hand in the pottery shop. My favorite is this one.
Okay.
This is our porcelain clay. So this is what I'm gonna have you guys use today.
Awesome.
And we're gonna start out with about 1.5 pounds of clay for most beginner projects.
Okay. So what makes this your favorite?
It's a very soft clay, and whenever it's fired, it's a bright white. So
Okay.
whatever glaze or paint you put on there, it's a perfect canvas for whatever design that you have in mind. Darker clays sometimes kind of blur your images that you put on there and change
Makes
the
sense.
colors of your glazes. So this is a good beginner-friendly pottery clay.
So is this what you have with all the pre-mades you had to paint your own?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So that's what it's gonna look like when we're done.
Pretty much, yep.
Awesome. I feel like this is the typical clay that I see in most
Yep.
of anything that has a spinning pottery wheel, they have this kind of clay?
Yep.
Okay. Is that because it's easy to use, like you said?
It's a soft clay. It's a good, nice, squishy clay. It's great on your hands. Sometimes we have darker clays like this one. This is our stoneware clay. Stoneware typically has grog in it. What grog
Okay.
is fired clay that they grind up and add back into the soft clay. So it kind of gets a little rough on your hands.
Okay, almost like a
So-
clay ash that goes
Yeah,
back into
exactly.
it. So what would something like that be used for?
So these are good for any dinnerware pieces that you want to make on the wheel. It's also good for like the boat that I mentioned earlier. Anything structural, this
Okay.
clay holds a little bit better. It's a little stronger once
Mm-hmm.
it's fired because of that grog that they add in
Okay.
there.
So bigger projects or more
Bigger
foundational
projects.
pieces to projects. Interesting.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna pop this clay over on this wheel for you.
Okay.
And I'll get it centered and kind of walk you through the process of how to make a ceramic bowl.
This is exciting. This is one of those
Yeah.
things I've always wanted to do, but never done.
It's a ton of fun. So we have our wheel spinning. I have it at full speed right now. That's what I like to center my clay at.
Okay.
And centering just makes sure that your clay is right in the middle of the wheel. This is a very important foundational step. Anything that you make on the potter's wheel has to be centered first,
Okay.
or else whatever you make will be really wobbly.
So what kind of pressure are you using with your hands? Is it like a light touch or I see it's moving pretty quickly.
This is pretty tough. You have to push it around a little bit for these first few steps just to make sure that your clay is right where it needs to be.
Okay. So I know you said the beginner pieces are the cups and bowls. Which of those two do we plan on
right.
making today?
So I'm gonna make a bowl right now. Bowls are a little easier to make than cups just because you don't have to control your clay as much. A lot of times when we set out to make a cup, the clay flares out to the side and it becomes a bowl.
Yes, that was my experience.
Yep. Very, very common.
So how do you know when to add the water? I see that's been something you do.
Yes, so anytime that the clay starts to heat up under your hands or stick to you, you want to add a little bit more water.
Okay. So it's to help gauge the temperature essentially.
Or just the feel of it, just to
Got
make
you.
sure that it doesn't stick to you too bad. If your clay dries out, it's really hard to manipulate it.
So I know you said we were centering. What's the
Yes.
thought behind this next part?
So the next thing I'm gonna do is open our clay up to start to establish the base of our bowl.
Okay.
So I'll show you how we do that. I'll do one demo piece for you and then I'll let you do your own as
Awesome. So watch the master work first.
well. All right, so now that our clay is centered, I'm gonna use my thumbs to push straight down into the center to open up the clay.
It's so fascinating to watch.
It is, it's very satisfying.
It's like an ASMR type thing.
Yeah. All right, and then from here, we're gonna make it wider. So my thumbs are back in. I'm just pulling over to the side,
Oh, wow.
just stretching that clay out some. And you'll notice that my forearms are always braced here. As long as I can brace them, I'll keep them braced, just to make sure that I'm nice and steady. Sometimes the clay tries to pull you around a little bit. So if you
Got you.
brace your arms, you're a little bit steadier.
I assume it helps with keeping everything level and even as well.
Yes, absolutely. So from here, we'll make our bowl a little bit taller. So to do that, we'll have our left hand on the inside, right hand on the outside.
Okay.
I use my middle finger and ring finger of each hand. We're gonna line those up, starting all the way at the bottom. A little bit of pressure between your fingers and pulling all the way up and over the rim.
Just looks like it's growing, like more clay out of nowhere.
So all we're doing here is pulling the extra clay up from the bottom.
So I see your foot's on the pedal. Is it a continuous thing or you have to keep it held?
It's a continuous thing.
Okay.
Yep. So as you're working with it, I'll kind of walk you through how the speed works. But basically, the further you push with your toes on the pedal, the faster your wheel will go.
Okay.
To slow it down, you'll push towards the back, and then to stop your wheel, you'll push all the way down with your heel.
Okay.
It also has cruise control, so if you want to take your foot off of the pedal at any time, it'll continue to spin at the speed that you have it set.
Okay. My girlfriend doesn't fuss at me, but she questions why I always use cruise control.
Hey, I'm a big fan of cruise control.
It's one less thing you have to worry about.
Absolutely. All right. So we have our little bowl. I'm gonna rinse some of this clay off of my hands. And then there's one more option if you want. For the very middle, we can add a swirl right in the center. So to do that, I'm gonna spin my wheel again. I'm gonna push down right into the middle and pull to the side.
Ooh.
It gives it some texture right on the inside.
There's a little flair of personality to the bowl.
Absolutely. All right, so pop that one out of our way. I'll get you some clay centered on your wheel and then you can get started.
Perfect. So how long does something like that take to get to the point where you're ready to put it in the fire? Does it have to dry out first?
It does, yes. We dry all of our student work for about a week or so before it goes into the kiln. The reason why is because if there's any moisture at all left in your work before it goes into the kiln, when the kiln reaches the boiling point of water, the water in your pottery will start to boil and it'll explode.
Awesome.
Yeah,
you won't
it's
have
very
a bowl
exciting.
Anymore.
Yeah.
I remember back in high school, like I told you earlier, we tried to do a pottery job like this, and I remember a lot of people's came out cracked and they were missing a whole bunch of their work.
Oh yeah.
So is this all student work, or this is some of your own personal?
Most of this, the ones that are stacked a little bit precariously, are all of my demo pieces.
Gotcha.
They sit here for a while and then eventually they go into the kiln and I add them to my paint your own pottery selection.
Okay.
And then all of the pieces here that are still on these bats, these are all student pieces from yesterday.
So how much of this clay do you go through in a week, let's say?
A lot. We buy about 600 pounds of clay at a time, and we find ourselves going about every 3 months to pick up clay.
That's a lot of clay.
It's a lot of clay. All right.
Cool, so this is gonna be this is my bowl.
This is your bowl, yep. It's really cool that we get to take a piece of clay and it starts out as a lump and then you get to create whatever you want out of it. All of the pieces that we make here in the pottery shop are food safe, microwave safe, and dishwasher safe.
Even better.
Yes.
I'm fully capable of washing dishes, but the dishwasher does such a good job.
The dishwasher does a great job.
So this is the centering process, correct?
This is the centering, that's right.
Okay.
And so centering is comprised of 2 different steps that we just repeat until our clay is centered on the middle of the wheel. So the 2 steps are coning and doming.
Okay.
So first we cone our clay up and then we dome it back down.
So what does this provide for us, that process?
This makes sure that your clay is right in the middle. It kind of works out any air bubbles that are in the clay. It makes sure that your clay particles are stacked and spinning in the same direction.
Okay.
So basically it's the first foundational step that you have to do
Got you.
for any piece that you make on the wheel.
And I assume that helps in the kiln process as well.
Absolutely,
Got
yes.
you. I don't want my bowl going kaput.
That's right. We do have some aprons on the hook if you'd like one.
I'm gonna get in the spirit.
So I'm gonna come around to the front
Okay.
so that I can walk you through it while you're working.
Got you.
First thing you need to do is find your pedal on the floor, kick it around to wherever feels comfy.
Okay.
All right. And whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and start your wheel. We'll start about medium fast speed for now.
It's about this.
You can go a little faster.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll add some water to your clay for you.
Okay.
You'll cup your hands on the 2 sides and push straight down with your thumbs right into the center.
This off.
Yep.
All right. So thumbs.
Thumbs right down into the center, and you can kind of cup your fingers on the sides so that you're steady. Okay, and now you can pull your thumbs out to the sides. Alrighty, you can pick your hands up. Gonna pull some of that extra clay from the bottom to the side.
So is that because where my thumbs were?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it kind of gave you a sloped bottom there.
Got you. It felt so cool.
Yeah, it's so soft. You can go even slower with your wheel. Perfect. And this is the step where we start to make it taller. This is the trickiest part of the process. Your hands will be here, left hand on the inside, right hand on the outside.
And you said you like the middle and ring finger?
Middle and ring, that's right. And just very, very light pressure. You're gonna pull that clay all the way up and over the rim. Okay, you can pick your hands up. I'm gonna pull some of this extra clay over to the
Yes.
side.
Made a little lip to it, it looks
That's
like.
okay, that's cool.
It's that personality we talked about.
Absolutely. No piece is exactly like another piece. All of the pottery that gets made here in the shop, they're all completely different.
I think that's what
Even
makes
if
it so
they're-
special.
Absolutely, yeah. And even if they're made by the same person, there's no two pieces of pottery that are exactly the same. All right.
So fascinating.
Would you like to put a swirl in the middle?
I'll have to put a swirl in the middle.
For sure. It's the most fun part.
So you said just thumb and then pull?
I would use your pointer finger,
Pointer.
start right in the middle, and then pull to the side. Perfect. Sweet.
I like it.
All right, you can stop your wheel. It's beautiful.
I like it. I'm so happy with that. All right, so I got my bowl made. What
Yeah.
happens next? Do we
So-
put it up on the shelf?
Yes, we can put it up on the shelf.
I'm on the shelf.
Yeah. So your pieces will stay here for a while. They'll dry out before they go into the kiln.
Okay.
After they're fired, we glaze them for you. And for all of our student work, we have 7 glaze options that we keep on hand all the time. So these are your 7 choices. And you can pick whichever of those colors that you'd like, and we'll pop them on there and get them fired.
This one's beautiful.
Yeah, that's our
like that
number
one.
one choice for
Ah,
glazes.
That
Yep.
makes sense.
It's a perfect little glaze.
It's got a little gradient to it. That's
yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
I had a great time. Again, this seems like something so much fun for the area. And like you said, people who want to travel from all over to come here. It's definitely something the community, I'm sure, enjoys. Something I'd like to ask, is there anything that Jacques in particular does to give back to the community that helps support it?
Well, you know, I grew up here, and Welsh is an extremely small town.
Yes.
So living here as a kid, there wasn't really anything for us to do. So now here with Mr. Clint's, we're really excited to be part of the revitalization of town, just to give people some new experiences and some new options to come out and have a good time in ways that they may have never experienced before or had on their bucket list for a while. Yeah, so we're excited to be here to bring some fun to the community.
Well, I love that. And you can definitely tell your passion and excitement. I know it was a shorter experience we had, but I had a great time. Again, I can't say that enough. So I can only imagine that everyone else who comes here for your full experience, like your student in there who's got so much awesome work.
Yeah.
I can imagine this is something they don't forget. So that's really awesome. Speaking of other students and things like that, is there anything people would know if they want to get in contact with you, maybe set up an appointment?
Sure, yeah, we book all of our classes on Wednesdays through Saturdays. Everything is by appointment. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, and I have a website as well, JacquesPotteryShop.com.
Awesome. Well, be sure to check them out. Again, thank you so much for having us.
Thank
It's been an
you.
absolute pleasure. I hope nothing but the best for you and your business
Thank
going
you so
forward.
much. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for this episode of the Lake Charles Experience. Thank you so much to Shelby at Jacques Pottery Shop. We have some pottery waiting. It's going to be about a week till that's ready. Definitely going to keep you guys updated on that. It's been an awesome trip down memory lane. I had a great time here. It's been an absolute amazing experience. Thank you for watching LCXP. We'll see you next time. It's really good.